Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Julie Muhn. I'm Senior Research Analyst with Finovate, and today I'm joined by Sage Franch, co-founder and CEO of PromoComply, and we are going to be talking about running compliant financial promotions. Sage, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so in recent years, we've seen a lot of increased regulatory scrutiny, especially on financial promotions. From your perspective, how has this impacted the financial sector, and what are the potential consequences for companies that fall short in this area?
Absolutely. So regulators are really cracking down on non-compliant financial promotions, or finproms, as we like to call them. And every financial organization that markets a financial product here in the UK has to comply with these. If they don't, illegal financial promotion is a criminal offense. And so the potential consequences are huge. It can result in huge fines, potentially criminal charges, and even the loss of the right to do business in the market entirely.
Oh, wow.
So I would bet that most of the folks who are in the marketing and compliance departments at these financial organizations, no matter the size, are currently paying attention and thinking about how do we do this right.
Certainly so. And so with this non-compliance potentially leading to criminal sanctions, fines, or reputational damage, as you mentioned, how can firms ensure that they aren't making these costly compliance mistakes?
Well, there's a couple of different paths that they can take. The first is to do it in-house, and that usually involves, if you've got a larger organization, you may have a compliance team and a legal team. The second path is to do it with external subject matter experts, to bring some folks in and consult on each individual campaign. Regardless of the way that you choose to do that, you really do have to make sure that every single part of your campaign is compliant. So not just the print ad or the billboard that you put out, but really every part of it, your social media, your partnership campaign pieces, really all those touch points that you have with your audience. And so what we recommend is that you use a platform like ours, PromoComply, where instead of spending that manual process, taking weeks and delaying your marketing campaigns by weeks or even months, you can use our platform to actually speed that up, use AI to do a deep regulatory review of your drafts, and ensure that they all comply with all of the relevant regulations before you publish, as well as they stay compliant. So, you get notified if the rules change and now your previously compliant ads are now out of compliance. So yeah, we recommend using, of course, a combination of your own subject matter expertise, your FCA-authorized approvers, which always need to be involved, and then a platform to help you really do it faster and get those campaigns out sooner.
Yeah, that makes sense. So getting it to market faster and then ensuring continuous compliance.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great. So with the FCA has highlighted concerns about illegal financial promotion, specifically on social media. How can companies proactively address these risks while maintaining an effective digital presence?
Yeah, I think that social media is one of those areas that's really seen a lot more attention recently. The regulators, of course, have put a lot more out in terms of what their expectations are for how to compliantly promote on social media. They're also working with the platforms directly to ensure that they're doing their part in maintaining the compliance. Doing it proactively is really important, and doing it comprehensively as well. So not just the things that your own organization and team are putting out, but also making sure that any influencer partners, or finfluencers as we call them in the financial space, they're also doing their part to maintain compliance. And so that's something that we've built in with PromoComply, is the ability to actually monitor your influencer partner content. And it's partly, educate them on how to do things compliantly, but also document it and make sure that, every single touch point there, again, is compliant.
Very good. So the FCA's rules apply to promotions targeting UK consumers, even from firms not based in the UK, even from overseas firms. So what advice would you give to international crypto and finance firms looking to comply with these regulations?
That is a common mistake and misstep that a lot of folks don't realize is a reality. If you're based in another country, you're not necessarily paying attention to the regulatory updates from different countries. But especially when we're talking about social media, you don't always have complete control and visibility of who are all of the end consumers who are being reached by your promotions. And the reality is, if you publish something and it is targeting, or it happens to target someone who is in the UK, you are subject to the UK regulations. So being proactive about it is very important. Again, using a tool that can help you to uncover those types of regulations, uncover the rules that are important to you, especially if you aren't already, well-versed in the rules of an area. It can be even harder, more complex to stay up to date with those things. So we definitely recommend using something that will help you to uncover those early, be really proactive about it, and then document very securely your compliance efforts along the way, so you can demonstrate that you've put in the effort, you made certain decisions for real reasons, and that you've put a real strong compliance approach in place.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine too, if English isn't the first language of the person running the promotion, they could run into all kinds of problems there as well. So
That's right.
The extra assistance there. So continuing on, talking about the FCA, the updated guidance emphasizes the importance of having a modernized compliance approach. How can finance companies demonstrate this modern approach to the regulators?
So there's a few different things that go into that. There's modernization in terms of making sure that you're really up to date with all of the relevant changes. Anything that develops, it's important that if you publish a campaign, for example, you're doing your part to realize that sometimes rules change. And those rules can change while you're in the middle of an advertising campaign. And that doesn't absolve you of the responsibility because it was compliant when you launched it. If the rules change and it's not compliant anymore, you need to make that shift. So that's part of it, is being able to adapt in real time to the changes. And the other thing is using technology that matches today's day and age. Many of the regulators are actually using AI themselves to detect and uncover non-compliant financial promotions. And so the ASA, who works very closely with the FCA, has been doing a lot of publicizing about their approach to using AI and how they've really increased the number of non-compliant ads that they've been able to detect because they're able to process such a much larger volume of information now. So part of having a modernized compliance approach is using those same types of technologies that are being used on the other side of the table, to proactively take that responsibility on yourself and, really get ahead of the game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Great. Well, Sage, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you so much for your time and attention.